the sweet sounds of childhood. For you, maybe not me, but I'd say it's more teenagedom for me. Now, when I was a little dude, I never owned my own Pokemon game, so I didn't have this huge connection to the game, but I did own the cards, as well as being able to walk down to my buddy's house and play some Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2. But back then, I was an idiot kid who only knew the cooler the Pokemon was, the stronger it was in the game. And if the number on the card was bigger, you won. And that was the way I played these gems. But as it came around, I started to understand more and more what this game is all about. Around 9th grade, being one of the new fresh boys on the block, I had this friend, and we pretty much hang out all the time. We'll call him Jack for the time being. And one late night, having a nice game session with the boys, someone suggested, hey, let's play some Pokemon, or some Pokemon Showdown. At that time, all I knew of Pokemon was that Charizard was good, and Bulbasaur was a walking cabbage. So learning how to play this game based around stats and moves was pretty much, as you would say, banging, and this is where I sort of hit a nerve, but not yet fully. So for those of you who don't know about this Pokebro game, well, to put it easy, you pretty much enslave wild animals to fight for you, and for money. And you as a player are to travel to gyms and torment the living hell out of the owner of the gym until they give you a priceless badge and some money. You're kind of like the mob, but replace the mob with 12-year-old kids and the rest of the mob with wild animals that fight for you. Anyways, they have like a total of 7 generations of Pokemon, with too many to count. But yeah, your Pokemon, they have types, meaning that they have an element that they're based around. Currently there are 18 types, some more obscure than others, but that's just in the game. Now, let's head back over to the storytime chair so I can finish this and we can move on. Jack's dad owned Pokemon cards, and one day when Jack and I were just having a nice, sick Game Boy sesh, I brought up that I didn't actually know how to play Pokebro Elite card game, the card game, so he sat me down and taught me. It wasn't too hard, you just make a deck and make sure you have enough energy cards, so forth, and you just play. I don't know, it's a long explanation, but when Jack showed me his Liquid Boy deck, I guess it hit something else, because after that, Pokemon was a bajillion times more fun than it actually was. Now, surface level, these two instances are just RPG and a card game. The game puts you into the shoes of a kid trying to be the best, and the card game is sort of your own story of how you want to play, whether it's casually or professionally. But I want to shift focus away from Elite Card Boys, the card game. So as most players, at the beginning of every Pokebro game, you pick a starter, which are always 3 basic types: fire, water, grass. With Pokemon Yellow being an exception because you start with the Chalky Boy. Now this is where we start to hit the deep end of the community pool, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the very first choices you have, minus your name and the gender. So you want to pick one that describes you. And you don't necessarily have to pick based on what describes you as a player. You can choose based on whatever you want. Like literally the only reason I picked Charmander is because his eyes pierce into my soul. The choices in this game are literally endless, from do you want to be a Pokeman or a Pokewoman, to how you want to raise your Pokemon. My favorite instances of choice come with battling and team building. Now you can choose to wipe the poor NPCs with one of your strongest Pokebros, or choosing to strategically beat the bot through weaknesses and strengths. The last thing I want to bring up is the multiplayer capabilities of this game. When it was first released on the Game Guy, if you had those Game Guy lock and load cables, you were set to trade and battle with your friends, and that really hasn't changed at all to this day. Granted, you can have online battles with people across the world in the most recent releases, but you can't deny the fact that it's fun to beat your boys or your girls with your weak Pokebro and hear them kind of get mad behind the tears. In an interview with Mr. Tajiri, aka the creator of Pokemon, he talked about how Pokemon is different than many other games in today's society, where instead of being based around online play with people around the world or the same server region as you, it is a game made to play and battle the people around you and get in touch with the world around you. It wasn't made to play against someone in Europe or Australia. From the Game Boy Link cables to the Wi-Fi battles of today, that has practically stayed the same. Pokemon was never made for one demographic, it was made for the world to enjoy. as it makes new friends and rivals. It adds competition and adventure. It helps people who can't do certain things achieve those dreams through a fantasy world. If I had to sum up Pokemon in one sentence, it would be that Pokemon is a game to save the world from itself. It teaches friendship, love, understanding, and gives the player choice. It is a game that defines many people today in a way that brings them together. Because in today's society, we're so caught up in social media that we can't take time to, talk to our bros. And so Pokemon, I feel, is an outlet to those who want to stay connected with their friends. You know what I mean?